Yes.
Tony's
So
got to get that shot.
Tony, and so then let's talk about Tony. I love you, Tony.
Just because you met him.
I wholeheartedly believe this.
Okay.
Tony is going to be that guy that's going to stop Khabib. I just believe it in my heart.
So you're gonna have to drop some facts.
I'll give you my reasons why I believe
I'm supposed
Tony.
to be the casual right now.
Okay. So when we were watching the Khabib fight this past weekend, I told you that I kept yelling at the screen, pressure Khabib.
Yeah.
You have to make him feel uncomfortable because he's used to making you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
So how does he respond if you make him feel uncomfortable?
Right.
He doesn't like being pressured.
Right.
And when he does, he's going to get away from it a little bit like we saw. Name me a guy in that division that puts pressure on his opponents like Tony Ferguson.
I mean, nobody does it like he does.
I've had people tell me, like, one downside of Tony is he comes at you, but he takes damage.
He does.
I don't see him taking damage from Khabib because he doesn't give that much damage like that.
Okay.
When they're on the feet. He gives damage on the ground, but not on the feet. So if he's going to pressure Khabib, he's going to be uncomfortable, and now you're going to throw him off his game.
Mm-hmm.
On top of his insane cardio. He's not going to get tired. I don't see it happening.
I mean, obviously,
neither will Khabib.
The difference in this fight, though.
Well, Khabib tires. I mean, he does get tired from all the energy he puts out on people.
On the ground.
On the ground. Like, we saw it against Conor. I think round 3 or 4, he kind of took a step back a little bit. But Tony, I've seen his fights. He does not get tired, and he gets better as the rounds go on. I just see, like, he has the ingredients in my mind that is going to work in his favor against Khabib. I feel like he's the guy.
I mean, it's not a shocker, but obviously the difference in that fight comes down to what happens on the ground because we know.
And I like Tony on the ground.
Yeah,
he's trained by Eddie Bravo, I don't know if you know about Eddie Bravo, but he is like the top tier guys when you think about BJJ.
BJJ. Yeah.
And he talks highly of Tony, right? Long, tall. He's as tall as me.
He's got a lot of weapons, dude.
He has a ton of weapons.
He looks so short.
He's big, dude.
When I took a picture with Tony, I was shocked about how tall he was.
Yeah,
he's as tall as me. He's a big guy.
He's got a big frame too.
He's a big guy for 55.
He looks like he's 5'6".
Like that picture, and I'll post it up on the podcast. But that picture, like, we're side by side.
And his arms are enormous.
Yeah,
really.
Like, there's a reason they call him El Cucuy because his no, I'm dead serious, bro. But like his like silhouette, he looks like a boogeyman. Like
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tony's trained by Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
But
I think the big difference is the cardio.
But Khabib is trained by bears.
That's true. Well, okay, look, here's the thing, right? So like what's funny is Tony talked about this before the Dustin and Khabib fight. And literally exactly what Tony said was going to happen happened, right? Mm-hmm. And that's that. We were discussing this earlier too, is that Khabib obviously has amazing wrestling, so he can use it wherever he wants.
Right.
But he seems to have figured out that the most effective way to use his grappling is to pressure people, back them up against the cage, and as soon as they're back up against the cage, he'll shoot, trap them, and they're screwed, right?
Right.
Tony already said that he knows that that's going to happen. He's like, if Dustin lets Khabib back him into a corner, it's over. And that's exactly what happened. So Tony knows that that's going to happen. Tony also it's like a mirror image of Khabib because they're both two guys that will not stop coming forward, right? The only difference is that we saw Khabib get hit. And when Khabib gets hit, he backs up. And when Tony gets hit, he keeps going forward. And so here's another thing. If Tony's putting pressure on Khabib and they're away from the cage and he, shoots for a takedown, and he takes him down in the middle of the cage, right?
He doesn't have the advantage of pinning him against the cage anymore.
Exactly. And
how is that going to look like?
Exactly.
You have all that room in the middle of the octagon. That plays into Tony's favor.
Yep.
But you're saying
that's why I like it so much.
In Khabib's last fight, you've seen him in two positions that we've never really seen him in, right? And he adapted very well.
Khabib?
I don't think there's any difference if you're talking about scenarios with Tony being someone like a different kind of style Khabib's not used to.
Yeah.
I definitely think Khabib's going to be well trained and prepared.
I have no doubt he's going to be well trained for this fight.
I definitely think like he's going to adapt and we're going to see a different kind of Khabib and a different kind of style.
Okay.
That would make a great fight, especially because it's kind of weird and somebody might not agree with me on this, but there's a thing that Khabib does to people, right? And Khabib makes people very cautious, super cautious, and it makes them play everything as safe as possible, right? We know Tony's not that guy. Tony does not play it safe.
You know,
Tony
he doesn't.
does not give a fuck. That dude will throw 2 spinning back fists.
He does not
at the same
care.
time, like back to back.
Guys, I think guys play too cautious against Khabib.
Yes, but here's the thing: Dustin got Khabib in danger by throwing some freaky shit out
Right.
there, right? Because he jumped that guillotine. He jumped into guard, jumped into that guillotine, right? If there's any and if that put Khabib into danger, if there's anybody that's down to try some freaky shit, it's Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. So then I'm getting the sense that you guys like Khabib over Tony.
I mean, if it comes down to
I feel like you for sure.
Okay,
Like,
look,
I believe Khabib.
Okay.
I think Tony has a better shot than anybody at beating Khabib.
no question.
I think Tony presents a lot of weapons that Khabib has never faced before. But how do you pick against Khabib? I can't confidently say that anybody would beat Khabib at 155.
Right.
Anybody.
There's just something in me that I see Tony and the way Khabib fights, and Tony knows, like, you know where you're gonna get from Khabib.
Yep.
He's gonna put you against the wall. He knows that.
Yep.
And I just feel like Tony is the guy. He has the tools to take out Khabib. I don't know if he's gonna knock him out. I mean, who knows? But I like him in this matchup.
Well, I mean, the last time Tony knocked anybody out with a punch like that,
Like,
was a
I
long
see
time
the
ago.
weakness. I see the weaknesses of Khabib,
too.
and when I point out those weaknesses, they play into Tony's favor.
You know what?
Better than any other fighter I can see in that division.
You know what somebody else mentioned though, and I don't know if this is by design, but Tony doesn't necessarily have the best takedown defense. He gets taken down, right?
For sure.
But then again,
the question raises, everyone's gonna get taken down by Khabib.
Is it by design? Is it because Tony doesn't really give a shit to be on the ground?
Right.
So if he's getting taken down, he doesn't care. He doesn't necessarily
waste that energy.
Right.
Yeah, he might not necessarily want to avoid.
And like I
down.
said, if he gets taken down in the middle of the octagon,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like he's gonna be in an uncomfortable spot.
Yeah.
You know,
And he's not
still
just
comfortable.
He's not just gonna sit there. He's gonna
No,
throw elbows.
he's gonna
He's
exactly.
Gonna move.
I mean,
he's
okay,
gonna move.
But here's the wild card though: is in the Conor and Khabib fight, we saw Khabib stand,
Mm-hmm.
which against one of the best strikers.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably, obviously, but I feel. I mean, how unrealistic is it for him to sharpen up on his striking and then really stand up with Tony?
Yeah.
Well, the difference there is we saw a Conor that hasn't fought in 2 years.
Right.
So you can make an argument about ring rust.
Also, I mean, something that might get Khabib to stand more in that fight is he also. I mean,
He didn't like Conor at all.
I'm sure
he
he's
wanted
watching. I'm sure he's gonna watch tape on Tony. And if you watch tape on Tony, you're gonna know that Tony's gonna be there to get hit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, I love Tony to death, but that fool gets hit. Every
He does.
Fight,
He does.
So Khabib might be a little bit more willing, I guess.
I'm
to
telling
stand
you
on the
right
feet and
now,
trade.
if he's willing to stay on the feet
Mhm.
and he sees how easily he is,
Mhm.
and he tries to inflict that damage,
Yep.
that's a big mistake for Khabib. I'm telling you that
Oh, yeah.
right now.
because he's gonna get burned out really quickly.
If he tries to go in that fight like Cowboy did and just throw shots at him,
Yep.
big mistake for
Ooh,
Khabib. I'm telling you that
I
right
didn't
now.
even think about that. Maybe
Big mistake.
Maybe he runs into the same problem that DC did, because DC in that fight, right? He's comfortably winning 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Right. So 2 at least for sure. Right. And it was pretty clear that the grappling was working for him.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, he picked up Stipe like he was a baby.
It was like a WWE fucking
Yeah,
move, bro.
exactly.
which
Right.
is scary.
But what happened? Daniel fell in love with his hands, got away from the grappling,
Yep.
and then look what happened. Khabib has a game plan, and he very clearly sticks to a game plan when he fights.
Absolutely.
If something happens where Khabib starts falling in love with his hands, he could potentially run into some danger.
Yep. And like I said, that's a big mistake.
So I definitely agree with you on the stance that if anybody's gonna beat Khabib, it'll be Tony.
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I strongly believe that Khabib will put in that work and be a student and really figure out a solid game plan to go against
I
Tony.
mean, he's never shown the opposite.
I don't think so.
But Tony's definitely the guy. As much as I hate Tony,
I love Tony,
I
bro.
hate Tony.
I've always thought Tony was an awkward guy until I met him.
If he
He's a
loses,
great guy.
And he's a great. My opinion about Tony has completely changed.
he needs to play win or get
I'm
off.
such a big fan of Tony now.
He you know how we play win or get off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't win this fight, he needs to retire. He's old.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know, but the guy's on a 12 win streak.
Yo.
You don't get
Yeah.
that just by sheer
Dude,
luck.
I saw some crazy stat the other day. I wish I could bring it up, but it says something along the lines of like the last time, and I'm sure somebody will correct it. Put it on the comments so I don't have to go digging for it. But the last time Tony Ferguson lost a fight,
Was against
Michael Johnson.
Yes,
but
Michael
it
Johnson.
was so long ago that Henry Cejudo
He broke
wasn't in
his
the
leg.
UFC
Wait,
yet.
didn't he break his leg that fight, or he broke something?
He broke his arm.
There you go.
Checking a
Yep.
kick.
Really?
Yeah,
And that
he broke his
affected
arm
him throughout the
Yeah.
fight.
And the last time Tony Ferguson lost a fight, DC wasn't in the UFC yet. Henry Cejudo was in the UFC
He's
yet.
been in the game for a minute, man.
And Valentina Shevchenko wasn't in the UFC yet.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a fucking killer.
Yeah. The last time he lost a fight. The last time Tony Ferguson lost a fight was
Yeah.
January 2012, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So